welcome back to my YouTube channel, and if this is your first time here, hello, I am Tia. I am a massive film nerd. I specifically love horror, and in case you couldn't tell by the posters and photos behind me, I'm also a massive superhero fan, and this is Movies with T. This is episode 4 of me showing off my physical media collection and continuing on yet again with my horror collection. We are moving on to my kind of childhood characters turned slasher villains. We're going to start off with my Twisted Childhood universe movies. So, probably unpopular opinion, I actually quite like these films. I think they're fun. They're not the greatest slasher films of all time, but they're a fun watch. So this is my Winnie the Pooh Blood and Honey copy. This is just kind of regular Blu-ray. It's got Pooh on the cover and Piglet at the bottom. If you've watched any of my previous physical media videos, you know I love bonus features. I love good bonus features. There's an audio commentary which I have not listened to yet. I might actually put it on the next time I rewatch this film. There's deleted scenes and bloopers. I haven't actually seen the bloopers. Normally one of the first things I do when there is bonus features is watch the bloopers or the gag reel, depending on what they call it. But I haven't actually watched it on this one. This isn't my favourite film in the series. I think it's a fun watch. It's not the best. It's not even too much fun. But I think this was a really cool concept, and I'm glad that they're making more. I will admit, I am glad about it, because it's kind of like, I kind of love this little like subgenre of horror that kind of is childhood movie characters turned slasher villains, or horror villains in general. Next up is my copy of Winnie the Pooh Blood and Honey 2. This is probably my favourite film in the series so far. It's such a fun watch, and the upgrade in budget is so clear, especially by like the upgrade in like the way that Pooh and Piglet look, and how Owl looks really cool. I'm not gonna deny it, Owl looks so cool. He's so weird. I don't like him, but he looks cool. I love that these films really don't take themselves too seriously, especially with the inclusion of "It's Pooh in Time." That is a genuine line of dialogue in this film. Or it's technically not a line of dialogue in the film. The same way that Scream has Stab as the in-universe version of the movies, Winnie the Pooh, Blood and Honey and the Twisted Childhood universe have Honey and Blood, the Christopher Robin story, and a line of dialogue in that film is "It's Pooh in Time," and there's kind of electricity, lightning behind him, and it's quite a funny moment, I will admit. It took me like 3 watches to actually pick up on that line, because I normally have to be doing something else while I'm watching something at home, and I'd seen people saying it was in it, but I didn't believe them. And then I spotted it myself and was like, okay, it's a genuine line of dialogue, they're not just messing about. I love this film. It's such a fun watch. It's not like the best slasher film of all time, but it's just so fun, and it doesn't take itself too seriously. And I also love the way that they really expand on kind of the lore of the characters in this film and why they are the way they are, if that makes sense. Like how they became kind of weird animal creatures. And yeah, I really like this film. Last up, we have Peter Pan's Neverland Nightmare. I don't really like this film. I think because, to me, it doesn't kind of have that fantasy aspect that the previous two do with the characters. This is just kind of like, he's just your average slasher villain. You know, he's just going around doing his thing. Whereas with Winnie the Pooh, Blood and Honey, you've obviously got that fantasy aspect, and the way they kind of make the Winnie the Pooh characters, these slasher villains. To me, he's just a regular guy. He's not got any kind of... He flies at one point, but it's not really... He just kind of floats up, but it's never really brought up again. And yeah, this is probably my least favourite of the films. Next up is my kind of standalone childhood characters turned horror villains. So up first we have this is probably the lowest rated film I have ever watched, or like the lowest rating I've ever given a film, not jokingly. And this is The Mousetrap. This is like GCSE drama level acting. Like, this is not good. I gave it half a star. I don't even want to give it half a star, but Letterboxd makes you put something. Half a star. It is just the most boring thing I have ever watched. I genuinely couldn't even tell you how Mickey, because they actually call him Mickey Mouse, which I don't know how they're allowed to do that, because I know the whole thing with Steamboat Willie going into the public domain means if it looks too much like Mickey, it's then classed as Mickey Mouse and Disney can get involved. Whereas if it's more Steamboat Willie, that's what they're allowed to use because he's the one in the public domain. So I don't know how they're allowed to call this. It even says on the back, Mickey Mouse. So I don't know how they're allowed to do that. But regardless, I don't care because I don't like this film. I know he teleports, I think, at one point, which don't know why he's doing that. I also don't know if the guy, like, the mask kind of talks to the guy, and like, I genuinely do not know what was going on in this film. I'm gonna rewatch it over the next few days because I'm working on a part 2 of my Substack post, which is out now, and it's talking about the Twisted Childhood universe. It was going to be talking about all these kind of films in general, but I had too much to write about Winnie the Pooh, Blood and Honey too, so I just did the Twisted Childhood universe in one post, and I'm doing these films in another one, which will hopefully be out next week if I have actually watched these films again by then. But yeah, I don't know what the plot of this film really was, other than she's made to work on the night of her birthday, her friends surprise her at the arcade, next thing you know, Mickey Mouse is hunting them down. I couldn't tell you what happens. It's the most boring film I think I've ever watched. It's not even like a fun slasher where it's so bad, but it's like ridiculously funny to watch. It's boring. Next up we have Goldilocks and the Three Bears, Death and Porridge, which just by the title you can tell that it's trying to be Winnie the Pooh, Blood and Honey. Like, Death and Porridge, Blood and Honey, it's a bit, you're not discreet with it. No, this did come out afterwards, if I'm not mistaken. Yeah, this is 2024. I believe the first Winnie the Pooh, Blood and Honey film was 2021 or 2022. I'm not 100% sure, but it was before this. Again, I couldn't tell you what happened in this film, other than they show up to the wrong house for like a holiday, and it turns out being these guys' house. But other than that, I couldn't tell you the plot. I don't even know what I actually rated this film, if I rated it at all on my first watch. Again, some of the acting in this is really, really bad. And there's certain points where the audio doesn't match up with their mouths. And that's like one of my biggest issues with films, is when that happens. Like, I can't, it takes me out the film so much. Like, I can't stand it. But yeah, this film is, again, I'm gonna have to give it a rewatch soon. The fact that I can't even really tell you what happens in this film just proves how little I enjoyed it. Because normally I can at least describe a plot of a film I don't like. But this is just bad. The final two do kind of have a connection because both villains are played by David Howard Thornton, who I love him. So next up we have The Mean One, which is a Grinch horror movie. But what the fun thing is about this one is the Grinch isn't actually in the public domain, which means they had to be careful about this, and they did work around it in some very creative ways. Whenever they go say the Grinch, I think it happens twice in, I can't remember if it's the same scene or two separate scenes, but one time when they're in a bar, they go to say the Grinch, but as they were about to say Grinch, the bartender shouts out, "Drink for Mr. Finch," and they do it twice, and it's a little bit funny. I liked how they kind of incorporated the story, like the original kind of Grinch story, into it, especially with the like heart growing three sizes. Is it three sizes? I don't know. I'm not a big fan of Christmas movies, so, but I don't mind this one. It was a little bit boring, and again, I didn't really get the plot, but that was probably just me not really paying attention to it, which I need to get better at that. I have a really bad attention span. I thought that this was an alright film. From what I can remember, I did quite like this one. I thought it was quite an interesting way to do the story, of kind of like the Grinch tears down anything Christmas related, and I think, if I remember correctly, the town is like sacrificing people to him, I think so, like they don't tell them not to put up Christmas stuff, or I'm not 100% sure, but there was some sort of like the whole town knew and they just wouldn't tell people. I might be completely wrong with that, but that's what I can remember from this film. But yeah, I enjoyed this. It wasn't the best. I can't remember much of it, but I remember liking it at least. Not like The Mousetrap, which is like my most hated film of all time. If I could have a letterboxed top 4 least favourite films, it would be there at number 1. It is my least favourite film of all time. And last up, we have Screamboat, which is actually still in the packaging because I haven't got around to watching it since buying it. I think I bought it a couple days after it came out, but I've not heard great things about this. But I don't go into this kind of film expecting them to be good. I don't expect them to be masterpieces. I just expect to have a fun time and it to at least be a little bit silly. But I am quite excited to watch this. I didn't get a chance to see it in cinema because I think they're already showing it in View cinemas in the UK, and I was at uni at the time and there wasn't a View cinema near me, so I didn't get the opportunity to see it in cinema, which I was quite upset about because I love David Howard Thornton. I love horror films. I love kind of the genre of childhood characters turned horror villains. I love the concept of it. I've not found many films I've liked in this genre. If you have any recommendations, that they don't have to be good films, as long as they're kind of a fun time, feel free to leave them in the comments because I am always down to watch new films. Will they probably be added to my never-ending watch list and I won't get around to them? Maybe, but chances are I'll probably give them a go at some point when I'm in the mood for them. That was the last of my childhood characters turned slasher villains. If you like this video, please feel free to like and subscribe. Any and all support for this channel is greatly appreciated. And if you have any suggestions for future videos, please feel free to leave them down in the comments. I will see you in the next video.